Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Rent Stabilization Division 2024 Property Registration and Fee Payment mini tutorial. So I'm going to do a really quick tutorial because we have a new feature on our database where you can actually pay your rental housing fee or your mobile home rental space fee through the property registration portal. So again, this is a new feature where we're paying through the portal. So before we get started, I want to just let everybody know that we should be opening up the portal in the next couple of days. I think December 19th to 20th of 2023, the portal will be opening up for property registration. You will need to register your property and submit any unit exemption requests that you might have before you can pay your fee. So you'll want to be sure to register, submit your exemptions, and then pay your fee, because that's all going to be due starting January 31st, 2024. If it's late, there are those potential late payment and late registration penalties that we want to avoid. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. We are on the registration website. So it's mvrent.mountainview.gov. That's where you'll go to get started. I'm on a test site here. So all the information you'll see today is going to be made up, but you'll want to make sure that you're on the correct website. Okay. So once we go to mvrent.mountainview.gov, we'll click into our landlord icon. Our email address that we use to create our account, that's our username, and our password so we can sign in. And this mini tutorial is going to be for those of you who have registered in the past and just need to update your information and pay your fee. If you're brand new, there's a longer tutorial, and hopefully we'll be able to link it in the description on YouTube so you can click over to that. So I'm going to go ahead and pay my fee and register for my property here at 2062 San Ramon. So I'll click into that. It looks mostly the same, but you'll notice a little bit of a change in that we now have this fee summary section over here to the right. And it will just give you a reminder that fees are going to calculate after your property registration is submitted. And again, that's because we're taking into account any of those unit exemptions when we're calculating fees. So we want to make sure we have all the information before we calculate our fees. If you need help, we do have our user guide that you can click into and get the step-by-step if you need that. Okay. So while we're on our property page, the most important thing that we need to do is make sure all of our information is up to date. So if anything has changed in your contact, go to your contact tab and update that. So we want to make sure our mailing address and our home address are correct, because this really is the information that we're using now for all of our mailings and all of our invoicing. Make sure it's spelled properly. Make sure you include all the words. So like if we're on Main Street, make sure it's spelled out and we have all the words, Main and Street, no abbreviations. We need it to be okay for the post office. All right. If we do need to make any edits, again, we're doing that over in our action menu. Like here, let's say that phone number is old. We'll have to update that. We can click that there. And now we'll see it's updated. So really important for us to make sure this information is correct. All right, the second bit is that we want to make sure our unit information is still up to date. So if anything has happened between last year and this year that you didn't have the chance to capture, now's your chance to update that. So let's say for this unit number 6, it was the manager, but I don't know, let's say they got a rent increase. Or let's say the manager, we don't need a manager anymore. So we want to change that to a tenant. It's still 2-bedroom, 1 bath. When did the tenant move in? September. And again, this one, you want to put the date of last rent increase. If there hasn't been a rent increase, we still want to do the date of the move-in, right? Current monthly rent. If there has been a rent increase amount, we type that in. If not, then it's a 0. Same with the rent increase percent. Type it in. If there hasn't been one, 0. And then we'll click update. And then you'll notice now that this is updated. If I look this over and everything else looks okay, that's all I have to do. And then I'm ready to submit my registration. I will mention, in case you're a larger property and you want to do a multiple unit update, you can click here. If, again, we have information here, so we're just updating, be sure to click over to this update button, download your spreadsheet. Oh, let me go ahead and just do that. So you can actually see it here. It will give us a spreadsheet of the units that we have. So you can, use this to update last rent increase last year, 100, and then 5% again. Update it, save it to your system, and then you want to upload it here and update. And that will just do sort of more of a mass update for you. However, be aware of 2 things, 2 main big things. One, the formatting is very, very picky for that. So please try to follow the format as closely as possible. And 2, if you are doing any sort of unit turnover, any vacancies, anything like that, you need to do those on the per unit level. It's not gonna work through that multiple unit update. That's really only good for rent increase information. So just FYI. And if you're having trouble uploading them, reach out to us and we can help. Alrighty, so after that, you should be good. So go ahead and click review and submit. Look that over, looking good. We'll click submit. We have a new declaration statement this year, and it is going to ask you to be sure that you've submitted all your exemption requests before you submit this registration. Again, because that's what we're going to use to calculate your annual fee. So we want to make sure we're calculating it correctly and you're paying the correct amount. So once that looks good, you can check this box to acknowledge that you've submitted all of those exemptions. If you haven't and you need to go back, go ahead and click this link here. All right. And then lastly, what we need to do is click our declaration statement, just saying that everything that we've entered in is accurate and correct. And then we can click submit. Now you'll see it brings us back to our property profile page, but it will show us in our fee summary section what are the totals that we're owing, right? So our rental housing fee will be here. Since we're on time, currently we don't have any late penalties for not paying our housing fee on time. We don't have any penalties for not registering on time. That will both say 0. However, those will start auto-calculating month per month if they're not taken care of. So you'll be able to track that information here. We'll have our total, amount paid, currently 0, and balance due. And we're in the payment pending status, right? So now we're ready to pay. We just click this big Pay Now button. Are we wanting to pay? Yes. Type in your credit card information here. Again, this is fake information. It's just a test card. But once you type everything in for you, you can click this pay button. You have to pay everything in full. That is the option. So when you're ready to pay with whichever card you want, you can click the blue button here. Save that. And now that payment has been confirmed. So if we click our link here, we can download a receipt. And that looks just like this. It will have, the date that the invoice was due, your name, your property address here, and then the payment information. Credit card, we paid on December 14th, we paid $324, and we have a 0 balance. So you want to save that, print that, put that in your files. Okay, and now when we are logging in and we're going to our property summary, we can see we're in payment received. We are green, we're good to go. Our fees, balance due, 0. That's what we like to see. All right. That is the new feature on the database. So I hope that it works out for everybody. We are really hoping that it's easier, that it works for you. Please give us feedback if it doesn't, or if you run into any hiccups along the way. So I want to make sure before we log off that everybody has our contact information. Please call us or email us if you have questions. If you need one-on-one help, come visit us at office hours virtually every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to noon at mountainview.gov/RSP office hours. Or we have a special landlord-focused help center. So it's geared just for our landlords to give one-on-one help that way, virtually or in person at our office at 298 Escuela. That's every first and third Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. All right, so again, reach out to us if you need us. We hope everything goes smoothly for you and you have a great rest of the new year.